as the preachers like to say, I will be standing longer than you.
Hallelujah.
This is an interesting, well, all the word is interesting to me, but this is an interesting word because let's just get into it. You'll find out on the way. How about that? John chapter 4. John chapter 4. I'm going to read into your hearing verses 5 through 10, but we're going to discuss much more. Verse 4 expresses this: Jesus must needs go through Samaria. He said, I must needs go through Samaria. Verse 5 reads this: Then cometh he to a city of Samaria, which is called Sychar, near to the parcel of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph. Now Jacob's well was there. Say, Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well. And it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus said unto her, Give me to drink. I want to say that one more time. He said, Give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat. Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with Samaritans. They have no dealings with Samaritans. I wonder how many people don't talk to people because you don't have no dealings with them. Wow. And so we have no dealings with this. Y'all don't have no dealings with us. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that saith to thee, Give me to drink, thou would have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. You can take your seats. Your message entitlement for this morning is In the Course of Conversation. In the course of conversation. A lot can happen in the course of a conversation. Y'all with me so far? Now, the master says to her, Give me to drink, and he's asking her a request, which is somewhat of an odd request, considering the parameters that we're dealing with here. The woman says back to him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, you ain't like me? How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? So here we have barriers that have been placed in the conversation. The woman, Jesus is talking to the woman. It's obvious that she doesn't know who she's talking to. But I want you to look at this in many facets, because a lot of times we don't know who we're talking to. We'll be in a conversation and not realize what's on the other side of that conversation that we won't even have. Because truth be told, it's difficult to talk to people that are different from you. If they don't work with you, if they don't look like you, if they don't sound like you, it's difficult to talk to them, because you realize that even if you're a friendly person, that you have to break some barriers. When you first meet somebody, they call it what? An icebreaker. So even in that, when you're doing a business meeting and you might be proficient at what you do, but you're in front of a crowd that you've never spoken to before, and what they tell you to do, have an icebreaker. That makes sense? Have something that'll make the people feel comfortable talking to you. Amen. So there's a certain level of comfort that comes with the initiation, if you would, of conversation. Y'all all right with that so far? So here we have territorial barriers. She says, I'm a Samaritan and you're a Jew. We live up north. Y'all live down south. We don't deal with each other. So we got a territorial barrier. Say territorial barrier. Then you got a cultural barrier, because you got one people that think like this. You got the Jew, or the people from Judah, who think this way, and then you got the people from Samaria who think this way. And it's been this way ever since this time of Solomon. At one time, I hope the church get this. I hope the world gets this. At one time, we were one people. At one time, we were one people. But something came a divisive element came, and not only did we allow it to creep in, but we allowed it to take residence. And we allowed it to create borders, both physical and spiritual and natural. So we're talking about people that are really one people, but now because of differences of thought and the way that things broke out, now they're separate and they don't even deal with each other. How we come from the same family and now we don't deal with each other? How are we brothers and sisters and we don't deal with each other? Simply because you live in a different place than I do. Simply because you worship a different way than I do. Y'all don't clap y'all hands, so we can't church with y'all. Y'all don't shout, so we can't church with y'all. Y'all speak in tongues too much. We don't like it. It makes us feel uncomfortable because we don't know what you're talking about. We can't church with y'all no more. And we create all these divisions out of misunderstandings that happened eons ago. When we really are one people. Say we're one people. And we really are. You know, the only race that really exists is the human race. You understand what I'm telling you? And I'm proud of my ethnicity and all that, but I'm saying, and there's no issue with that, but what I'm saying is we're still one people. We all come from the dirt, and the dirt we shall return. Amen. Now, depending on our conduct is where we go, but that's a whole nother story. All right? But we talk about conversations. We're talking about conversations. And so we got territorial barriers, we got cultural barriers, we got social barriers. Because it's not common that some man would just, especially a rabbi, somebody known for being a rabbi would just come to some random woman and start having a conversation, because that's not the way we do things. Y'all know how we roll, you know. And I'm married, so if I'm talking to, I got to be careful. Even in our society, I got to be careful as a married man who's graced to be a pastor. I got to be careful when I'm speaking to a female, period. Because if I start talking to a female, ooh, look at him, see? There they go. So you got to be careful. So there's a level of carefulness that you got to take, but it's a cultural thing. Hold on, wait a minute. What you doing talking to that woman? By yourself. Why y'all there by that way of having a conversation? Ain't that what we do? You couldn't say hi? You know, I talk about this all the time. Like we can, you know, I was walking somewhere and I saw a young lady who was beautiful. Yes, I said she was beautiful and she wasn't my wife. And I said, you know what? I just want to tell her she was working. I think we was going through a drive-thru. My wife was with me now. My wife was with me, and I said, darling, I just want to tell you how beautiful you are. And she said, thank you, I needed to hear that. And there was a little bit of hesitancy because I knew my wife knows me, so she wouldn't get upset with it. That wasn't the issue. I was like, how is she going to receive that, especially with my wife being here? Because some people would be like, how dare you call another woman beautiful in the presence? She's beautiful. She look good. I can't call the woman. Well, I'm going to lie to myself and be like, oh, she don't look good. Whatever. And I just felt the need to tell her that. And she said she needed to hear that. And people in the thing was like, thank you for, like, you could see them like, thank you for telling her that because she had been in some issues. I didn't know. I ain't trying to be all deep like I deserved that she. No, I just, hey, you know what? You beautiful, and I just want to tell you, sister, all right. And that was it, you know? Nothing more of it. And so now we got to go through this whole thing where we got to put all disclaimers. I ain't trying to hit on you. I don't want to be with you. I just want to. We got to do all that instead of just paying somebody a compliment. And sisters and women have it the worst because you can't play no guy no compliment, you know, in a lot of scenarios. If you tell the guy that he look good, really? Brother, I just wanted to tell you look good. I wasn't interested in you. I just saw that you look good, and, you know, I just want to compliment you and give you, you know, make your day brighter. But, you know, now I can't say nothing to you because you extra. Just because I'm being friendly doesn't mean that I'm flirting. You understand what I'm saying? Just because I'm being friendly don't mean that I'm flirting. Good gracious. And now we're so scared to pay people compliments that we don't even talk to people. Even people that look like us, because if I say something, she's going to think I'm trying to hit on her. I say something to him, he going to think. Don't you be timid? No, okay. Y'all know, okay, if you don't know me by now, I like to talk about real stuff, you know what I'm saying? You don't be timid. You just want to pay somebody a compliment, even females. You got to be careful nowadays. A female to a female be like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't swing that way. You know what I mean? Got to be careful. I'm just being honest. No swing. I got to be careful. And so instead of just giving somebody a compliment, regardless of their orientation, I ain't even getting into all that. I'm saying regardless, we're scared now because of all these parameters, these borders we put up before we've had a conversation. How many borders have you built before you had a conversation? You looked at their skin color and you put up a border, some of us. You saw language, a barrier, or whatever, had you put up a border. Some of us get mad at people that can speak English, but English ain't their first language. Hold up. First of all, they speak 2 languages. You speak 1, and you mad at them. You ought to be mad at yourself. Now, right? Instead of trying to understand them, I have one I have to deal with all the time. Slow down. And I used to get upset. You need to learn how to speak English. She can. She has another language. I'll slow down, because in their dialect, they speak fast. You speak fast to me in English, I'll be like, I do not understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. You need to slow down so that we can work together. But at first, I had to check myself because I was getting angry instead of trying to have a conversation. Because you don't speak like I speak. I know how to speak perfect English. No, you don't. We speak broken English as it is, you know what I'm saying? Our English is broke. Go to England. I've been to England, by the way, you know. I've been to England. You talk around them folks, you like, nah, we speak messed up English around here, you know. So, especially when you see somebody our color speak English, it be messing you up, don't you? Be like, we got a friend of ours, Khalid, whatever, she speaks in that accent, you be like, man, that's just crazy how you speak like that. That's weird. You know, because we about ain't and finna and all that stuff, you know. So, when they speak proper, you be like, ooh, that's different. You know, but we put up borders for no reason, it seems to me. But social barriers, and then we got the gender barrier. So we talked about those things, right? So get this: barriers are broken by the voice of invitation and the acceptance of those involved. I'll say that again: barriers are broken by the voice of invitation. Are you inviting somebody by opening your mouth? Say the invitation is in my mouth. Sometimes you got to be the one that says, I'm going to be the one that's going to start the conversation. I'm going to be the conversation starter. You ever been anybody ever been to a social gathering? A social gathering around people, like a wedding or something, and y'all at table with people you don't know? Y'all ever did that thing where you sitting at the table and everybody quiet? And it's awkward. And see, now we got phones so we can hide our face. You know, we can do that thing so we don't have to interact with people, whatever. Hey, we got the phones so that we don't have to catch eye contact. But we were sitting at the table at this event that we just went to, and it's quiet. And I was watching them just chitter-chatter with people that they knew. They sat down at our table. Now, we both here for the same person. I'm talking to the church. We here for the same person. We're here for the same God. We're here for the same great, wonderful God, but we can't talk to each other because I don't know you. So we sitting at this table, it was somebody's birthday party. It's a party. And we sitting there tapping the table. You know, trying to just, because it's awkward. The silence is just awkward, right? And I say, hey, how you doing? My name is so-and-so. Just start a conversation. Then all of a sudden, everybody starts talking. Because I'm just sitting there, I'm sitting there thinking, like, why aren't we talking? Now, we're here for the same reason. Say we're here for the same reason. So why aren't we having conversations? I know you don't know them. You'll never know them if you don't invite them. And it's interesting when we don't know people, we suppose a whole lot. Isn't that something? So barriers are broken by the voice of invitation and the acceptance of those involved. Say reception must be mutual. I think that somewhere along the lines, we've lost the art of listening. We've lost the art of listening. We only want to make our point. You know what I'm saying? It seems like I only want to make my point. I'm only going to be in this conversation long enough to be right. Anybody ever been in a conversation with somebody, they just really waiting for you to be quiet? We call them conversation opportunists, right? They really just waiting you to talk. They can't wait. It's like double dutch. And then the whole time just jumping around and like, you ain't going to let nobody else get in the ropes? Nope. They doing all this fancy stuff. They turn like it's a game. You know, everybody gets a turn in this game. Right? No? We're not going to get a turn? Okay. Y'all ever been in a conversation like that? Where you keep looking like, I want to. Never mind. Oh, y'all ain't never been there. Y'all ain't never been to a never mind conversation? You ever just let somebody talk? Really? Yeah. But furthermore, conversations offer, listen to me closely, conversations offer an invaluable bridge of opportunity. Conversations offer an invaluable bridge of opportunity. Every conversation, and you got to hear me, every conversation has an opportunity. Every conversation has an opportunity. The question is, who do we have here? Who is it that we're talking to? Who do we have here? We must understand conversations are commodities awaiting exchange. Some of y'all heard me say that before. Conversations are commodities awaiting exchange. We must hold conversations long enough to notice an offer or discover value. Because if you hold a conversation long enough, you might find out who you're really talking to. Because they just look like a person to you. That might be the CEO of the job that you dreamed about all your life. But because they didn't look like you, you wouldn't even hold a conversation. That might be the connect to that job. That might be the connect to the connect to the connect that you need. Amen. How many of you got connections through a connection? The person you talked to wasn't the person you needed, but they knew the person you needed. But if you don't have a conversation with this person, you're not going to get to the conversation that you need to have. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So conversations are connections. That makes sense? And she's about to make a connection. This woman's about to make a connection that she didn't know that she came for. That makes sense? She didn't even know why she was there. So sometimes you're just having a conversation and you're not trying to necessarily just always be on the take, but you're just having a conversation. But if you don't have that conversation, you don't know what you're missing out on. Does that make sense? You don't know what you may be missing out on. So have a conversation. Now, by the way, conversations means that both parties give their thoughts. Now, I had a saying that I said, somebody caught me on it because I said, when you have a conversation, you're not trying to give somebody a piece of your mind. That makes sense? You're not trying to, say, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. That means that you're upset with them normally, right? If you keep giving them a piece of your mind, what's going to happen? You ain't going to have none left, right? But in a conversation, you are trying to give your thoughts. Does that make sense? You're trying to give your thoughts. Okay, so it's an exchange. Say it's an exchange. I'm giving you my thoughts. You're giving me your thoughts. Even if it's a light conversation, you understand what I'm saying? A light conversation, we're still giving each other thoughts. Anybody ever had a conversation with somebody and you got an idea that you've been trying to get for years or months and you just, oh, snap. Or you had a conversation that inspired a play, inspired a song, inspired a painting, inspired a business, inspired you what to call your business, all because you was in a conversation like, I've been trying to figure out what to call this for so long. God gave me something, but I just couldn't put a name on it. Then I had a conversation, and all of a sudden in the midst of the conversation, Eureka, I got it. A lot of what you seek is in conversations, but you got to have those conversations to find what you're seeking. So sometimes your silence is killing your own dream. Do you hear what I'm saying? Your silence, your refusal to talk to anybody. Well, nobody's helping me out because you ain't talking to nobody. Does that make sense? When I talked to God, and God was like, I place the commodity in front of you. I place the connection in front of you, and you wouldn't even talk. Y'all heard the joke about, the place that was getting flooded, and they sent the car, and they wouldn't get in the car because they say, God gonna get me out. And then they sent the boat, and they say, God gonna get me out. They sent the helicopter, and they say, God gonna get me out. And then when a person died, went to heaven, it was like, well, God, why did you come get me, man? I sent the car, I sent the boat, and I sent the helicopter. What you want? So sometimes God done sent you a connection, but you wouldn't open your mouth because they don't know me like that. Of course they don't know you like that. You won't talk to nobody. I'm sorry, maybe this is too simple. But it'll help somebody. So the woman says, you have nothing to draw with. You don't come here talking about, you don't have nothing to draw with. You want me to draw water, but you haven't got nothing to draw with. The well is deep. And she's like, where is this living water? You talking about living water, where is that though? Jacob, our father, she gets, our father gave us this well. Girl, if you knew who you was talking to, I made your daddy. No, you don't say that in no regular conversation because that ain't, but it's like she doesn't know who she's dealing with. So she's like, our father gave us this will. How you going to talk about living water? The master says, this water will leave you thirsty. She was thirsty. Anyway. But the living water quenches thirst forever. And the woman says, give me this water. So let's go further. What's going on? Somebody say, what's going on? So this is the things that we're trying to do in conversation. Who do we have here? What's going on, right? The master says, go tell your husband to come here. The woman says, I have no husband. Ding, 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 ding. Correct. You do not have any husband. You don't have a husband. You've had 5. And the one that you're with, that's one not even yours. Quick side note about that. Why on earth would anybody want to be somebody's side piece? If you agree to be a side piece, that means that you only want to be a fraction of yourself. If you want to be a side piece, that means that you only want to be a fraction of yourself. He said, the two shall become one. So I'm not working with a fragment. My wife, contrary to popular talk, is not my better half. No, you got to understand, she is me. I don't think that you understand what I just said. She is me and I am her. Do you understand? Because we are one. So you can't say nothing to her that ain't going to get back to me. I'm telling you right now. You ain't gonna talk crazy about me in front of my wife. My wife gonna be like, oh, no. You got the wrong one, boo-boo. You know? And if you talk out the side of your neck, I mean, first of all, I don't know how your voice is coming out the side of your neck, but if you want to talk about the side of your neck, you know, unless you got one of them things that's in your throat, unless you got one of them, don't be talking outside of your neck about, you know what I'm saying? About my, no, you talking about me now. Isn't it funny how we get in arguments with somebody we say we're in close relationship with, but when we angry with them, we'll let them dog them out? You don't understand. They dogging you out too. Anybody you're in a relationship that you allowed to get dogged out in the conversation, that's on you. Oh, that's heavy. How? You call them your friend, but they just getting dogged out. And you ain't going to say nothing? You just going to sit there? You ain't going to try and defend them? I'm starting to question your friendship. You know what I like to say to myself? With friends like these, who needs enemies? I'm going to let you just talk. No, there's no way in the world. Even if you got a point, I'm going to be like, yo, slow up. Let's get them here. If we got all these problems. But we don't do that because we like that, you know, we like that shady stuff. And I'm like, ooh, what happened? I would mind you ain't going to talk crazy. We going to have a discussion. We going to have a conversation. Does that make sense? It's like, go tell your husband to come here. That ain't my husband. No, you right. So another question, a counter question or a side question to, you know, who would want to be a side piece is, whose side are you really on? Whose side are you really on? You know? Whose side are you really on? I think that kind of addresses itself. That makes sense? Whose side are you really on? The woman says, I perceive that you're a prophet. Really? You perceive that, huh? You don't know who I am, but you perceive I'm a prophet. That's deep. But anyway, so she said, I perceive you're a prophet. However, we don't worship in the same place. Hello, church. We don't worship in the same place. We can't have this conversation, or we might have denied this conversation because we don't worship in the same place. It's like you can't have a conversation with church folk and they trying to lure you into their church. First of all, I got a home church. Hello, somebody. Amen. Sometimes it's not like I understand when God says your assignment is up and you got to move somewhere else. That's one thing. But some of us are so excited about church growth, and it's really not church growth, it's church transition. I know I ain't going to get no favors. I know I ain't going to get nobody going to like that. Yo, my church growing because that church just died out. Or that man of God messed up, or that woman of God messed up, and now, of course, because we don't believe in actually restoring anybody, we just run. We don't believe in restoration, we run. Well, they sin like you didn't sin. Right? Again, there's a point where you got to be like, all right, my assignment's up. That's one thing. But all these people talking about my assignment up, somebody lying. You understand what I'm telling you? Somebody lying. Just, you know, your assignment can't be up just because you changed your mood today. You know what I'm saying? They made you mad because they told you the truth about yourself. My assignment up. Your assignment ain't up. You've been found out. Anyway. But I'll leave that way. I'm trying to keep a couple of people in here while I'm preaching, something. Hey, let me get to the end of the conversation. Give me an opportunity, like, man, please, I've heard enough. Anyway, we'll get there in a minute. But, so, I perceive you're a prophet. We don't even worship in a place. The master says, woman, believe me. Now, I'm paraphrasing. Woman, believe me, worship is not about the mountain or Jerusalem. Let me say this one more time. Worship is not about the mountain or Jerusalem. This is what Jesus is saying. It don't matter how we feel about it. He said worship ain't about the mountain and it's not about Jerusalem. Worship is about spirit and truth. Isn't it interesting? One of our favorite scriptures to quote came out of a conversation. They that worship the Father must worship him in spirit and truth. That happened with the conversation with the Samaritan. He was talking to the person who wasn't like him. Y'all with me so far? Saints of God, true worship is based in truth. Therefore, it cannot be relegated to a territory. Y'all ain't the only one that know how to do church. Like I said, now this is me, which means I'm taking a little liberty. This is me. If I had it my way, nobody would call their church a church. You call it a kingdom post. Because I think part of the problem with calling your church a church, sometimes we think our church is the only church. If somebody else can preach the gospel just as good as your pastor, your apostle, whoever they may be, all right? They teaching the same truth, right? They may be on a different topic, but they teaching the same truth. They really trying to live for God just like you. Y'all ain't the only ones trying to make it to heaven. But what we'll do, even in the church, come on, if I'm telling the truth, somebody come on, talk with me. Even in church, we'll start acting like we the only ones that's doing it right. We the only, because, okay, I know I'm messing with my Sabbath observer, right? So we observe Sabbath. We got the Bible to back it up in the whole nine, but now we won't talk to people that go to church on the Sunday because we go to church on the... Get out of my face with that mess. Yes, I got Bible to back up while I go on the Sabbath day. Great, wonderful. I can walk you. I don't even need the Old Testament. I will walk you down on the New Testament while I do it. You understand what I'm saying? Walk you down to show you why I do a thing. But I'm telling, the only reason I do it is to show you why I'm doing what I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to cause division and say, y'all ain't going to heaven because y'all worship on. I know this ain't going to be some people. So now we don't even talk to what, and we got names for them, right? First day. Come on now. We're calling people names now. First day worshipers. What? Am I talking the truth? You know them first day worshipers. You don't talk to them because they corporately come to glorify the same God that you corporately come on Saturday to glorify God. You think that somehow God is weaker on Sunday. You somehow think that God is weaker on Sabbath day. You got a problem. Your God is too small for me. We can't be talking about the same God. You think that your God only exists in Georgia? You crazy. You understand what I'm saying? God only operates big in Texas because everything is bigger in Texas. Not God. God is the same everywhere he is. And he's all over. He's omniscient. He's omnipresent. So why are we trying to fit God? And God, like, this is one of my favorite things to say. God ain't American. Hello. We will cause division over the way that we say a scripture. Oh, you didn't say that verbatim. Do you speak Aramaic? Do you speak Hebrew? Well, then you are not saying it the way that they said it. What is the spirit? He said that the letter killeth, but the spirit giveth life. They that must worship him in letter. No, hold on, no, hold on. Hush, I'm talking. They that worship him must worship him in letter. Huh? They that worship him must worship him in letter and preference. That ain't the word, is it? They that must worship him in spirit and truth. Stop killing people with letter and get to the spirit. You understand what I'm saying? First of all, for all my wonderful, sanctified Sabbath people, if you're still doing your delight on Sabbath, Don't be talking about something you a Sabbath observer and you going drinking after this. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to do in your pleasure. Now you visiting family, we can break all that stuff down. But if you're doing that, then don't you see what I'm saying? It's corporate worship. Say it's corporate worship. If you do it on a Wednesday, you're going to be all right. You do it on Thursday, you're going to be all right. You know, we changed ours. We used to do it on Thursday. We changed to Wednesday. I wonder all we let's say because we say it's the Wednesday. I'm just curious, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, Wednesday is a short day in school, so I'm just wondering if we giving God less praise because it's a Wednesday. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So it's crazy the things that we find division over. Is this making sense to anybody? So it's just crazy the little petty things that we do. Now, do not allow material distance to form division. Let me say that because it's more than just space. It's about things. And so do not allow material distance to form division. And I want to reiterate that conversation offers a bridge. And furthermore, it invites common ground. Somebody say common ground. So when we're having a conversation, what we're trying to find is common ground. We're trying to find common ground. Does that make sense? So, have we heard enough? Have we heard enough? The woman says, I know that Messiah is coming. Called Christ, he will tell us all things. The master says, I am him. Now, the interesting thing is that she had brought all of her instruments. I want you to think about this lady. She's coming from all these broken relationships. She's coming from a place where she has identity crisis because she don't know whose she is. She's had 5 husbands, and the one that she with ain't even, she's got an identity crisis. Oh, y'all didn't know this about her? She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't know where she belongs. She's trying to find, that's why she's had all these broken relationships, because she's trying to find who she belongs to. And she hasn't found them. And as a matter of fact, the one that she with, she don't even claim them. Truth will come out in the conversation. So here she comes with all her brokenness, all of her detached relationships, all the things that she's not claiming about situations that she's in, and she's coming to draw this water, and she sees this man there. This man that's not in her culture, that's not where she's from, and he's out trying to have a conversation with her. But she has all the instruments to just do what she needs to do and move along. But she does something that is as important as what Christ does. She decides to stay in the conversation long enough to find value. Now, we champion Christ because we know that he's the one that brings deliverance. But how about the person that just needs to stay in the conversation long enough to see who Christ is? Can you have a conversation with somebody who don't look like you, who don't act like you, who maybe is a little different than you, they're a little bit more radical than you, to let them see who Christ really is? And he takes her out of her comfort zone because he says, go get your husband. She said, I don't have one. He takes her out of her comfort zone. So he's not making her so comfortable that she can't change, but he's challenging her. He shouts at her. She says, no, I can't do that because I don't really have one. He's trying to find common ground. We're at Jacob's well, so she's come with her pitcher. She's come with something to draw with. She's come to get this water. And Jesus is telling her that you've been looking for the wrong water. Anybody been trying to do something for years? It's a routine. It's a routine. You think you're getting what you need because you need water. But I want something different. You need counsel. You need something, and you keep going over and over again. It's a routine now. You know the distance. You know the size pail to do. You know all the routines. And you come this one time, you've been to this place over and over again. Coming to get something that refreshes you, but leaves you thirsty. Anybody been coming to, I just need you to think about your life. You've been just coming to something and you still thirsty. I still want. I keep coming here, but I leave. It lasts for so long, but I still leave wanting. And he says, if you knew who you was talking to, you would find living water. You would find something that would sustain you if we could just stay on common ground until I reveal it to you. Does that make sense to everybody? He says, I'm what you're looking for. You've been looking all this. I'm telling you, I'm what you're looking for. He actually gave her the answer before she asked the question. Because she asked, where is this living water? But before that, he said, give me the drink. He already gave her the answer. She just didn't know it yet. Because she had to solve for why. Some of y'all to get that. She had to solve for it. She had to figure out, why is he saying this? Well, I am him. Because you came to get well. Nah. You came to get well. I came to give you life. I don't think you understand. You came to get well. I came to give life. See, wellness only lasts for so long. But this life, this ain't just any kind of life. This is abundant life. This is living water. This is living water. This is water that you have to drink in your body. This is water that you got to drink in your spirit. And when your spirit has living water, it's funny how other things can be lacking, but you still feel sustained. Your natural body cannot live without water. You can go without eating for a long time, but water, dehydration will kill you quickly. Do you understand what I'm telling you? So he's telling you that the water that I'm giving you is going to keep your spirit alive. Not just now. You're not just going to feel all right for a little while. You're going to feel right eternally. Does that make sense? I'm offering you this, and thank you for staying in the conversation long enough to find out. Do you understand what I'm telling you? She's talking to the voice of many waters. Listen at this. Holding a conversation can release ministry. Holding a conversation can release ministry. Sometimes when we're in a conversation, it seems like we could talk to everybody about everything except God. Talk about sports. We live and we all over the place. Have an opportunity. I'm not talking about stump on your desk and then start trying to witness to people at your job. Y'all doing customer service. You're not trying to preach to people. And, you know what I'm saying? The Lord said. I'm just trying to figure out how to fix my cell phone. Could you do your job? Well, the Lord said. Okay, they crazy. Can I talk to another sales representative? Right? But I'm saying ministry, just take the opportunity to talk to somebody about just sensible stuff and just give them encouragement. I remember I was talking to somebody because I deal with customer service a little bit. I was talking to somebody and I could tell that they were there. And I said, everything all right? She said, yeah, they this is my last week at the job. They cutting all our jobs out. And I just been discouraged, but she said, but I know God. And the minute she said, I know God, I was like, oh girl, you just said the wrong word to me. Oh, because I was customer service. I was just a concerned human being. She said, but I know God. I said, you know God. I said, yes. And we just started talking. Spent another 15 minutes just encouraging her. I can't give her job, but I can encourage her to keep her head up until she finds another one. Do you understand what I'm saying? But it wasn't like the minute that she told me that everything was, you know God. No, I saw an invitation and I took it. Understand what I'm saying? So, again, because some people ask you, well, how is it that you're able to keep your head up in spite of everything that's been happening to you? How is it that you can remain positive? The doctor doesn't say you got this. You done lost this person. You done gone through this detriment. How is it that you can stay sane? You really want to know? That's your opportunity. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we got to take those opportunities to witness. And Jesus take an opportunity. Where's your husband? Now, of course he knew it, but whether or not that's the thing, that gave that woman a chance to check herself. Go find your husband. I don't have one. I knew it. It's just like when God has that conversation in the garden and he says, Adam, where are you? You don't think he knew where Adam was? The question was rhetorical. The question was trying to get Adam to be honest about what he really was. Does that make sense? And so conversations give people the opportunity to find where they really are. When he asked, did she have a husband? She had the opportunity to lie, but she was like, nah, I don't. So conversations give people opportunity to give themselves free. I don't think that you understand what I'm saying. I say conversations give people the opportunity to get themselves free. That makes sense? You ever been talking to somebody and they say, normally I wouldn't talk to anybody about this, but you just gave them a release. You don't even have to have the answer. Because how many people have been talking to somebody and they talk themselves into the answer? You just needed to be the conduit. You just needed to be the bridge. Say, all I needed to be was the bridge. That's it. All I needed to be was the bridge. You know what? I got it. This is what I need to do the whole time. I saw somebody the other day. You know what? I really figured it out. Yep. You sure did. Ain't nothing no more for me to add. And they was like, I just need to talk it out. I said, I'm glad I could help. You ain't got to always, saying, oh, I got the fix for you, doc. I know it. No, come on, man. Relax off all that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we be trying to be so deep that we're ineffective. You can really witness to some people by listening. Anyway. So the woman says the word says that many Samaritans of that city believed on Christ from her testimony. Because the woman heard enough. And here's the thing. Remember that process that I told y'all about? That she had brought all this stuff. She had come to get well. She had brought her broken things. And she didn't even know that she was about to get. She came with all this stuff. All this stuff. But I told you, conversations can release ministries. Conversation can release you. She came with her water pot and left her water pot right there. I know you done heard this sermon this word a bunch of times, but she left what she came with. I don't think that you understand. She left what she came with right there. She had been doing this routine for so long. And that was never the answer to what she was looking for until she left it with the right person. So she took all of her burdens. Y'all don't understand, because when she left, she had no burdens. See, y'all got to see how I see it. Because if she would have got the well, she would have carried a burden. I don't think that you understand. If she would have got the water, she would have went away with a burden. But she left her pail, her bucket, her problems right there. Conversations are a bridge that can allow you to leave your problems right there. And when she found out that she could leave her problems, she was free to run. All of a sudden, she couldn't keep herself still. She says, I got to go tell. I got to have another conversation. Because I see the value in it. I got to have another conversation. I got to have another conversation because I'm excited about what I heard. She said, come see a man. She went to the city. Now she's unafraid of barriers. Anytime before this, she probably wouldn't have spoke to all the men at the same time. We know that she spoke to at least 5, but she wouldn't have spoke to all the men at the same time. But now she has no fear because somebody broke the barriers for her. So now she's going in there. She's like, come see a man who told me about my life. He saw everything about me. Come see this man. I want to continue the conversation. He told me my life. Is this not the Christ? So many believe their testimony, many more believe because of his word. And then they said to the woman, now we believe, not because of your witness, because we've heard him ourselves. The question is, has you heard enough? Kind of have a different ring to it now, doesn't it? Have you heard enough? You've been trying to look for that idea and you can't find it? Have you heard enough? You've been trying to think it up by yourself, but have you heard enough? Have you had conversation with other creative people? I'm a creative person, but sometimes I get stuck. Anybody that's creative in here and been stuck? It's amazing if you'll have a conversation, how sometimes you won't even talk about the topic, but it'll free you up. A light bulb will go off and you'll be like, that's it right there. All because you opened yourself up to a conversation. Does that make sense? Say, talk to somebody. Am I talking to you? I hope I'm talking to you. We believe for ourselves. We've heard him for ourselves, and we know that this is the Christ. And so conversations carry exponential networking prospects. Y'all didn't know that this was going to be a networking sermon? Because we get spiritual and we act like we can't be practical with this. Jesus is networking. Never mind. Never mind. See, we so sanctimonious, we can't see the value of it. Jesus is Say, Jesus is networking. Now think about it 2 times and you will get it. The first disciples he got were fishermen. The first disciples that he got, the first 2 disciples were fishermen. He's networking. He's networking. He understands that, look, I broke the barrier with one, she'll break the barrier for the rest. So he speaks to the one that was receptive to him. If he would have walked to that town, there's a good chance that those people wouldn't have received him. But they'll receive one of their own. And one of their own said, you know what? They ain't so bad. This man right here, he knows something. And then they started listening. And then they found out that it was true. So that means they had to hear what she had to say. Sometimes you got to hear what they got to say in spite of the history that you have. I said sometimes you got to hear what they got to say in spite of the history that you have. Because the history between them two wasn't that good. But one man, say one man, made all the difference. You understand that you are the representative of the one man that makes all the difference. All I got to do is have a conversation with the right person, with any person, and it's going to open up so many doors, not just for me. Don't be selfish with this. This is going to open up the gospel to people that might not even heard it, might not even received it, all because I'll have a conversation. All because it might open up networking opportunities for me. Sometimes, again, you don't know who you're sitting in front of. You don't know that you're sitting in front of a CEO. You don't know that you're sitting in front of a business owner. You don't know if you're sitting in front of an angel investor. Somebody who would just give you money if you would give them your idea. And they don't want your idea. They just want to sow into it. Yeah, they want some profit behind it. Of course they do. But they want to sow into it so that you can get your idea out there, but you don't want to talk to nobody about it. Well, it's just a dumb idea. It's a dumb idea that you won't talk about it. That's a dumb idea. You understand what I'm saying? That's the wrong idea. I don't even want to call it dumb. That's the wrong idea. That makes sense to everybody? Say talk to somebody. One conversation could change our life for good. One conversation. And she left everything that she knew right there. She dropped what she was doing. It changed her mind. It changed her life. It changed her witness. Last one. Do you know what's in front of you? Do you know what's in front of you? Jesus answered and said unto her, if thou knewest the gift of God, if thou knewest the gift of God, and who saith to thee, give me to drink, thou wouldest ask of him, and he would have given thee living water. You don't know what's in front of you. Sometimes we are missing out on stuff because we just won't speak to folk. The person who could have got you out of debt was right there in front of your face, but you won't say nothing to him. The person who knew to connect for that job that you needed was right there in front of you, but you wouldn't open your mouth. The resources that you can't even fathom right there in front of you, but they don't look like you. They ain't from where you from. They ain't your race. They ain't your gender. They ain't from your social club. They ain't from your church. How is it you won't talk to somebody that go to church? Come on now. Well, they don't go to my church. But those conversations have resources. That makes sense? The course of conversation offers bridges, commodities, commonalities, ministry, networking, and even conversion. An effective witness knows how to carry a conversation. Let me say that again. An effective witness knows how to carry a conversation. Does that make sense? But conversations open up doors that you couldn't even dream of. That you found yourself stuck. So I just want to take this time to talk to everybody that's felt stuck. Everybody that's been coming to a particular place over and over again. You come with the bucket, you fill the bucket, and you leave with the bucket. You come with the bucket, you fill the bucket, and you leave with the bucket. And you're saying something has got to change. Something. It must be more. Anybody feel in this house that there's something more for me? I need you to think eternally. There's something more for me. But I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I know where to get something that'll give me partial satisfaction. I know where to come to get affection, but I've really been looking for love. I know where I could come and be accepted, but I'm really looking for love. I know where to come to be fed, but I'm still hungry. I eat and I'm okay, but I'm still hungry. Anybody been eating? I ain't talking about natural, I'm talking about spiritual. Anybody been eating, but they still feel hungry? It's like I've been studying. Now, some of y'all ain't been studying. Okay? But some of us been studying, but I still want more. Right? Some of us like, okay, I've been going to this well, but I'm not whole. Does that make sense? Say, I want more than well. It's interesting to me, a parable that Jesus says, and I want you to think of this. When you've done what you're supposed to do in Christ, there's something that we want to hear him say. We want him to say, well done. I need you to see this word and be like, well done. No, you got to see what I'm saying? I'm done going to the well. I'm done going to the well. I'm going to the life. I'm going to the place that's living. And when I find what's living, it's going to free me up. It's going to release me to do ministry work like I never thought before. It's going to give me words that I never even thought to say, all because I had one conversation. So I want to give you the opportunity today to come to the well for the last time. Anybody want to come to the well for the last time? This time when I come, I'm about to have a conversation. You can do it right there in your seat. That's all right. But anybody just want to have a conversation and say, Jesus, Jesus, now that I know what you're capable of, I didn't know that you could be a bridge to my financial woes. I didn't know you could be a bridge to relationship woes outside of one with you. I didn't know these things. But now I'm looking to have a conversation. And the requirement of this conversation is you've got to tell the truth about your situation. That is not your husband. I don't think that y'all hear me. Bride, if y'all are not listening to me, y'all got to get what I'm telling you. Bride, that thing that's been hampering you is not your husband. The bride was looking for her husband. Never mind. The bride was looking for her husband, and she knew she never had one. But she found him. She found him at a place that she thought was her father's. Oh, y'all got to see this. Is so beautiful. She found him at a place she thought was her father's, but it was his father's. I'm challenging somebody to meet your father for real. Come meet your husband for real. But you got to be honest with where you are. You got to be honest with what you've done so that you can receive what he has for you, so that he can give you living water, abundant life, connections like you've never seen before. If you believe that, if you heard this word, Open up your mouth and begin to give God praise. Somebody talk to him. Somebody talk to him. Come on, talk to him. You can praise him. You can worship him. Somebody talk to him.